not for the people that are here tonight necessarily, but for the people who are watching. And to think that the county could allow this opportunity to go down the toilet is beyond belief. I mean, it's beyond belief. Just on the other side of it, it requires a small number of people to decide to change things around. To me, this is a great lesson in democracy. If we don't band together, same with KMEC Radio, Public, KZYX&Z has the same problem. Channel 3 in Willits has the same problem. Channel 3 on the coast has the same problem. Strong leadership, determination, focus, ability to take time out of our normal life to step forward. Now, getting back to the Fry Vineyards, I want to get back to the story of the Fry Vineyards because Mel and I went out to Fry Vineyards because we wanted to check out Fry Vineyards because they support KMEC Radio, and we knew they would support Channel 3, MT, Mendocino County Television Access. So we drove out there, and they have a beautiful tasting room. Go there. I mean, it was what I thought would be kind of a so-so experience. Turned out, and I'm sorry they left. The Fries were here earlier, but it just turned out. It did turn out wonderful. I mean, they have a tasting room, and I just found out tonight that that tasting room was an early house, the early cabin. Do you know that story? I can't remember it all, but anyway, that building. Because when we walked in the tasting room, I was overwhelmed with feeling, looking, and experiencing the tasting room at Fry Vineyards. Now, Fry Vineyards, by the way, has the only organic wine. And they were the first, I believe, in the United States. I mean, there are other people now doing organic wines. But I mean, that's their commitment to the planet, to their family, to everybody, you know. So we support Fry Vineyards, but what I'm trying to say is that when I go down my own particular path, I don't know what I'm going to find. Because sometimes I feel like a jerk, you know, wasting my time, you know. And other times it's like, it's magic, you know, just total magic. So I'm riding along on this curve and on this bubble. And the bubble is that we're going to go forward and we're going to succeed. And everybody's going to have an opportunity to reuse this room. We've got to get the rent paid. There's no rent paid that I know of for the next year. It's that dire. I mean, they're really, can you imagine having a county government take the money away from this opportunity? So there will be an ad hoc committee meeting coming up. What is an ad hoc committee meeting? It's just a meeting by the Board of Supervisors deciding at their own time, at their own will, that we're going to show up. And that's why we have the petition over there. If you haven't signed the petition, get the petition signed. Signatures count. People say, oh, why do you vote? We vote because it counts. This is a prime example of local government. If we don't go before the supervisors and complain, we'll never get the money. And I see it as a bunch of shenanigans going on here. So we're going to un-shenanigan it and get this going. We've got Mal who's going to be the right man. He stepped forward. He's a volunteer. This is not a, we're all volunteers. So thanks for coming, and I didn't know I was going to say anything tonight. I could go on and on.
Please don't.
Please don't. My security officer is told. Thanks so much.
Jimmy's one of those people. He's a character in our community, and I say that lovingly.
Better.
Jimmy's been doing this over 20 years, and when Malo said, hey, I want to go to the Board of Supervisors, you were one of the few people, along with Louis, who showed up. And that, you know, on top of everything that you've already done in terms of, you know, being a muckraker and doing all of that.
Keep my paddle shiny.
You know, that to me, I mean, like, that's the sign of commitment. You know, I'm gonna go down to the Board of Supervisors office one more time and give them a piece of my mind and tell them when I think they're not, you know, doing things the right way. So Jimmy, if you know, come up and
With an ROP training back in 1990, teaching how to use that old editing system. And I got the bug. For 3 years I did a weekly program, very good. I also ventured into KFTY out of Santa Rosa to try and broaden the broadcast over UHF versus cable. Recently I spent since '07 until I think 12 or 13, I was on leased access where I would buy airtime and I produced a weekly show, and a lot more freedom through that process than even access. But access is for everybody. They say that on your telephone you can do broadcasts, you can do all sorts of stuff on the internet. I'm still learning how to use my track phone. And I think the majority of us, older folks, seniors especially, aren't really techie. We're not that tech savvy. It takes us a while to get trained. And I told the Board of Supervisors, you got to tell me at least 10 times before it sinks in. And Mallow's a good example of that. He's probably did about 3 or 4 of those 10 times. But we're learning new systems. But the need is, there's a lot of folks out in the community who aren't techie, aren't going to be techies. They have old television systems, they surf around, they look for something they like, and then they start viewing it. I have more people over the years. In fact, the day we went to the Board of Supervisors, there was a maintenance guy from Dunright painting. And he started off saying, "Oh, I watch you all the time on TV." You'd never know. More people at the post office, at the grocery store, or wherever recognize that you've been out there keeping your paddle shiny. And the whole idea is there's so much going on in our community that it doesn't reach folks who can't go to parades, who can't get out of their houses for whatever reason. That's the service we provide. We bring the community to the community, whether it be through internet, radio, or television, and we all play an important role to do that. And once you got the fight in your belly, it never goes away. And these people you're seeing here today have different degrees of fight. And I think we're all here for the long run, and hopefully you who are listening, you who will see some of this video that we're putting together, will understand why we're doing it and support us. Mallow, thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right.
Thanks so much.
Thanks. And folks, I want to say, you know, like, inform yourselves. Come in, ask us questions, find out about what's going on here, and what it is that the CEO of the county and at least one board member of the Board of Supervisors have on their agenda and are attempting to do. They want a governmental channel that has the Board of Supervisors meetings, City Council meetings, Mendocino County, Office of Governments, MCOG, whatever they are, and other, semi-quasi governmental agencies to have a channel dedicated to them at the expense of public access and educational TV. And we can't allow that. It's taking away from our community. It's taking away from our dignity, our right as human beings to stand up for one another and for our community and for future generations. This is our voice, just like KMIC is our voice, just like KZYX is our voice. Now is is the time to step forward and help it continue to get stronger and not be muffled and shut out. Thank you.
Well, thanks so much.